Imagine a little girl, just 19 months old, her world suddenly falling silent. No laughter, no music, no mother's voice, and her world goes dark. No colors, no faces, no light. She is trapped in a cocoon of silence and blindness, unable to understand or to be understood. The world thinks her story is already over. But what they don't know is that inside this cocoon, wings are forming. Welcome to Cocoon Tales. Today, we dive into the breathtaking journey of Helen Keller, the girl who could neither see nor hear, yet taught the world how to listen with the heart and see with the soul. Helen Adams Keller was born in Tuscumbia, Alabama in 1880, a healthy baby filled with laughter and curiosity. But at just 19 months old, tragedy struck. A sudden illness, some say scarlet fever, others meningitis, left her both blind and deaf. Imagine the terror, a child reaching for her mother, but never seeing her face again. A child crying out, but unable to hear her own voice. Her family was devastated. The bright-eyed little girl had been thrown into a prison of silence and darkness. And soon, her frustration grew. She couldn't express herself. She couldn't understand others. Her anger boiled into violent tantrums. She kicked, screamed, smashed dishes. The world called her wild, untrainable. But inside, Helen was not wild. She was trapped. She was a butterfly fighting against the walls of her cocoon. In 1887, when Helen was almost 7 years old, hope walked through the door in the form of a young woman named Anne Sullivan. And herself had known suffering half-blind since childhood, poor, orphaned. She understood pain. She understood darkness. And she believed Helen could be reached. Armed with patience and love, and began teaching Helen. She used her hands. She spelled letters into Helen's palm, connecting touch with meaning. But Helen resisted. She didn't understand. To her, these letters were just strange movements with no purpose. One day, Helen's tantrums grew so unbearable that Anne took her away to a small cottage on the family's property, isolating her from the world. There, teacher and student faced each other. Day after day, hand after hand, touch after touch. Anne spelled DOLL into Helen's hand, but Helen still didn't grasp that words represented objects. The world still seemed locked. The cocoon still unbroken. Then came April 5th, 1887, a day the world would never forget, and led Helen to the water pump. As cool water rushed over Helen's small hand and spelled WTR into her palm. Suddenly, like lightning, something sparked in Helen's mind. She froze. She touched the stream of water again. And this time, she understood. This movement in her hand meant the liquid flowing over her skin. Helen dropped her doll. She demanded to know the names of everything around her: pump, ground, teacher, sky. That night, Helen Keller went to sleep in a world that was no longer silent and dark, but filled with words, ideas, connection. The cocoon had cracked. A butterfly had begun to push through. From that moment on, Helen's growth was unstoppable. She learned hundreds of words, then sentences. Then she learned Braille. She began to read and write. By age 10, she wanted to speak. Everyone said it was impossible. But Helen was not a child of impossibility. With fierce determination, she placed her fingers on people's lips, feeling vibrations, learning how words formed. Slowly, painfully, she began to speak, though her voice was unclear. Her message was louder than thunder. I will not be silent. And Sullivan never left her side. Together, teacher and student climbed mountains no one had ever dared. Helen went to school. She later entered Radcliffe College, becoming the first deaf-blind person in history to earn a college degree. The butterfly had not only emerged, it was soaring higher than anyone imagined. Helen Keller could not see the world. She could not hear it. Yet she became one of its most powerful voices. She wrote books. She gave speeches. She traveled across more than 40 countries, meeting presidents, kings, and ordinary people. Wherever she went, she carried one message: your limitations are not the end of your story. They are the beginning of your transformation. She fought for the rights of the blind, the deaf, for women, for workers, for peace. People looked at her and saw not just a woman, but a miracle. Proof that human spirit is unbreakable. Helen Keller once said, "The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision." Her life forced humanity to rethink what is possible. Helen lived until 1968, leaving behind not just books and speeches, but a legacy of courage. She taught us that no prison is too strong to hold the human spirit, no darkness too deep to hide the light of determination. Her life is Cocoon Tales in its purest form. A baby girl, silenced and blinded, transformed into a butterfly who spread hope across the globe. And now, as you listen to her story, ask yourself, what cocoon are you trapped in? What silence do you fear? What darkness surrounds you? Remember, inside that cocoon, wings are forming. Like Helen Keller, your struggle may one day become your greatest story. This was the story of Helen Keller, the girl who could not see, who could not hear, but who taught the world how to truly live. And maybe, just maybe, her story is also your reminder that the cocoon you are in today is not the end. It's only the beginning. Welcome to Cocoon Tales,